5.
Hey guys, hopefully you can hear us right now. We're coming at you live from Central High School for 2019 Desert Solstice. We just started actually. Hopefully you guys can see this. Our feed's a little blown out, but we're gonna get that fixed here in just a second. But thank you guys for tuning in. I hope we are actually live. We're doing the whole...
off, right?
I think we're live.
Now we wait.
Yeah, it's like everywhere. Let's see. I'm not sure if we're actually live right now. That doesn't look live. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think we are. If you guys can hear us, please comment. That would be great. Okay, we are definitely live. Okay, we get the idea. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think we are. If you guys all can hear us, please comment. That would be great. Rock you a great start. Okay, I'm not sure what he's doing with the feed down there now, but it's like there's someone just standing in front of the camera. Hopefully you guys can see down there, they're just on lap 1 right now. The race just started, it's 8:01 a.m. I'm Jamil Curry.
Patrick Karen.
We're back again, dynamic duo.
Let's see what the weather is.
We just started here. This is, I think it's like the 9th or 10th edition of this race. I've seen some superstars down on the track. Patrick Regan is walking around. Who else do we have out here? In terms of like other big names.
Running, racing, or just hanging out?
Yeah, we just care about the people hanging out.
Well, Patrick Regan's just hanging out.
Yeah, I see Zach Bitter is definitely
yeah, he's going for
lead.
a fast 100K time today.
Oswaldo Lopez is right behind him. Is Oswaldo wearing the next percents, looks like?
Yep. Yeah, Oswaldo, from what I've heard, is trying to go through 100 miles in 13 to 14 hours and then hang on for a new PR in the 24-hour. Last year he ran, I think, the Mexican record in the 24-hour, and he's trying to break that record again today, but with a fast 100-mile split. And then who else we got? Nicole Bitter.
I think she's also going for 100K.
100K.
Megan Laws is out there going for 100K. So there's kind of a mix of people this year for sure. Pete Kostelnick is out there, I know.
Yeah, I think last year with like World Championships, a lot of people were trying to qualify and make the team. And this year, since Worlds just happened, what, in October?
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's a little less, probably a little.
That's our screen. So if you get an audio mixer, you can see, yeah, HDMI, they can hear us right now. So, all right, that's our live view of the track there. We've got Zach Bitter just ran by. We'll try and familiarize ourselves with all of the runners this year.
Their outfits.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we actually can watch this and not that if we don't want to. Actually, that's actually really nice.
Kick back and relax.
Oh yeah, we got the sun like blaring at in our face right now. But yeah, we're looking forward to. We're gonna have, I think, quite a few guest hosts this year. I know we pulled in Courtney last year, but hopefully we'll get Pat Reagan up here at some point. Jeffrey Burns is supposed to be running, but I don't think he actually started, so we'll probably get him up here at some point as well. I think I can hear us talking on this.
Last year's winner, Jake Jackson, also said he would come up.
Oh, Jake Jackson's here as well?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. And he did really well at the World. So that's really cool. We're just getting situated here. We're seeing maybe less people going for the full 24. We'll just kind of have to see. You never really know with these things. So, weather-wise, did you see what our high temperature for the day is going to be?
I think it's 47 degrees currently, and looks like a high of 68 around 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon, and then dropping down just to like 50s overnight. So I think compared to last year, a little warmer night, which is good. I think a lot of people definitely struggle in the later hours with the cold, so especially as things slow down.
Let's see, if you guys have any questions, we're going to be monitoring some of our feeds throughout the day, so feel free to chime in. We've got a couple already here on YouTube. Yeah, some people just asking if the field is less elite this year. I mean, it's hard to say that because all the people that line up here, I mean, they have to meet pretty strict standards.
Yeah,
but I guess...
Yeah, I mean,
and there's a lot of superstar runners out here.
There's a world record holders here today, so I think also though there's like definitely some people looking to prove themselves who might not have, say, as much experience at like the 24-hour distance, but they're definitely looking to like kind of have a strong performance, and so maybe some dark horse people or names we're less familiar with, but I think it's still a very elite field and a lot of accomplished runners here today, just maybe not at the typical 24-hour or like time distance.
Yeah,
a lot of people are coming from more trail background, yep. Like Mark and Kyle, and then Scott Trayer as well. Yeah, definitely a mix of like trail and more traditional timed runners.
So you guys are getting a pretty good view of the track there. You can see them along that back stretch there coming around the curve. You can't hide on the track.
Nope.
It's pretty cool to witness it. Is that Mark Hammond at the blue shorts?
Yep, yeah, okay. That's Mark.
So you got Mark, typically a trail guy. He has done across the years before.
And he ran, what, Jackpot Ultra, the 100-mile
that's right.
National championships.
And
back
he did like in
yeah, he
13?
ran 13 and change back in February, so he definitely has the speed.
Maybe not someone I typically associate with it, but
that's cool. I mean, there's Zach and his wife Nicole running together.
Just doing a little morning chit chat for husband and wife there, no big deal. And now this is your hometown now.
Yeah.
Let's see, we've got a question from Brian Aaliyah. Is that Zach? What is he chasing this year after his Thunderdome record run? I think that was the last, is it the Thunderdome?
6 days in the
6
dome.
days in the dome.
6 days in the dome. I think the
called.
Thunderdome, isn't that like a stadium in Louisiana or something? Anyways, what is he chasing this year? So he's chasing a fast 100K time today anyway. So he's not shooting for 100 miles or 24 hours. He's just specifically here to go for a fast 100K. So we'll see what he can do. What would be a world-class 100K time that he might be shooting for?
I mean, what, the world record's 6:09, I think, and then American record is what, Max King, like 6:20 something. But I think anything under, I mean, in the 6:30 to 7 hour range is definitely like at least national level. Jeff Burns, who isn't running, I think he has a PR of 6:30 for 100K, and he was going to be running 100K today, but yeah, plans changed, I guess.
We got a shout out from John Nelms. Shout out to James Elson from Centurion Running in the UK.
Yeah, we got two guys, right? Robbie Braden.
Yeah, Robbie. Yeah, did you read the article that Robbie wrote about the shoes?
X%, yeah.
So, because I guess he's been a critic of Nike lately, but then he's decided to run in the shoes anyways.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I guess. It looks like a few guys out here are rocking those ones. Not quite as many as CIM, but
yeah.
It's like a sea of pink and green.
Next percent army.
Man, Oswaldo's got such a smooth stride. It almost looks like he's just walking really fast.
Yeah.
Just like gliding.
Speed walker.
Yeah, he's currently, you guys can't see him in the view we're looking at, but yeah, keep an eye out for him. That's Megan Laws there in the yellow top, the North Face. I feel like she's been racing a lot lately. She just did Javelina right before that. What did she do before that? Was it UTMB maybe? Not sure. We'll have to do a catalog of everyone's outfits and line them up with who they actually are.
They're changing.
It's one of the fun things about this race is that as you're going, you get to know everybody's clothes so well that you can point them out because you're watching them for, hours at a time, 12, 15 hours. They're still wearing most of the same stuff.
Yeah.
So there's Oswaldo. I feel like he looks smoother from a side profile view.
Yeah.
Just kind of gliding along.
He had a fantastic finish here last year, 140 miles or so?
Yeah, 139, yeah.
We got a question, what pace are most of them running right now? We don't
It's
know.
definitely a whole mix, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Zach like flying ahead of everyone, and
I mean, he's got to be like
lapping
6
probably
something pace.
most of the field.
His first lap was about a 132, I want to say. So
Okay.
that
Right
makes
around
sense.
6 minute per mile
Yeah.
pace. So he's probably, going to be rocking those as long as he can. I'm going to hop over to Facebook and see how we're doing over there and see if we got any comments. Oh, there we go. Cool. We got 8 people tuning in on our Desert Solstice page. We got 1 comment. John Moroshik is watching with you. What's up, buddy? I think it's probably live on the Aeroviper page as well. Oh yeah, there we go. We got a few people.
And if you're here in the Phoenix area, everyone's welcome to come, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The track is open. Come on down and spectate. Bring me some coffee, please.
Yeah.
I think I slept an hour last night trying to get this all ready. We got a question from Facebook. Tom Vest, is Joe Fiji's running this year? Negative. I'm hearing myself talk on the...
Oh, on this.
Yeah, need to turn that volume down. Cool. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone here that is joining us this morning. We will be attempting to broadcast as much of the race as we can, try and provide some commentary. Feel free to jump in. There's not a whole lot going on right now. It's just like getting started, basically. But yeah, at some point we'll do some... We definitely should do some like in the field reporting as well.
Yeah, especially as people kind of get close to certain distance marks or time marks, we'll definitely go down in the field, be entertained by Mike and Bill's 4-hour turnaround dances as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I'll definitely try to interview some folks as well as crew. Yeah.
Can you give kind of a quick history of the race itself, Jamil? How it started, how long it's been going on, and I guess what inspired you to start the Desert Solstice Invitational?
Yeah, you know, big kids track meet, basically. Track meet for ultra runners. No, but essentially my brother qualified for the world team back in 2010, I think it was. He ran North Coast. I think he qualified with like a low 130s or something like that back in the day when it wasn't as competitive. And I was like, oh shoot, I can't let him just qualify. I want to give it a shot. And so I think there weren't any qualifiers left in the year, so we were putting on across the years out at Nardini Manor, and we thought this would be a good introduction or a good test run, and so I was going to run it. We were going to hold it a couple weeks before across the years around the winter solstice, and yeah, it turns out I didn't run the race. It wasn't an elite level, but it was always from the get-go a qualifier race was the intention. So I ended up getting injured or didn't run it for whatever reason. But instead we actually had a pretty good battle. Joe Grant, who's not normally known for looped ultras, he jumped in and he raced this guy from Japan, Tatsunori, and yeah, I think they ran maybe 115, 120, something in there for the first one. After that first year, we kind of saw that this could be something, and we moved it right here to Central High, and we've been here ever since. So yeah, I think that was maybe 2010, the first year, so I think this might be the 9th or 10th edition of it. Can't believe it's here already. Crazy.
Yeah, last year's race was pretty memorable on so many levels.
Yeah.
There was so much, and it was funny how the focus shifted throughout the day, in my opinion. Last year we started out with Courtney v. Camille was the talk of everybody who was tuning in early, and obviously, unfortunately, it was not a great day for Courtney as she had to withdraw early. But then Camille started putting up miles and of course set the world record at the time, which she has since broken, which is mind-boggling. But then also at the very end, there became a story between Nick Curry and Greg Armstrong, where it came down to
Bob Hearns too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right, Bob. All of them within a 2-mile total. But especially with the fact that when the race ended, after 24 hours, Greg had qualified for what would be the final national team spot less than 100 meters ahead of Nick, which was, and both in excess of 152 miles, I want to say. Yeah. It was a pretty amazing thing to witness. So that's why I was so excited about the race this year, personally. I'm not as familiar with as many of the field as you said.
You should sit down if you're talking.
But
you shouldn't talk off camera. I feel like
show your face.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize you guys were on cam.
Well, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna work.
We're just a little TV little.
Sure. But it's the thing that I learned last year from being out here all day was that there's going to be some sort of story that develops over the course of the day, and it'll be kind of curious. I'm curious to see what those stories are. I know that they're, like we said, it's kind of a come down from the season, as the World Championships were just a couple weeks ago. But they're these runners are the best of the best, and I'm kind of looking forward to see. I don't know, is Zach trying to chase a world record? I mean, he already obviously pinned down the 100-mile world record earlier this year. I'm wondering if he's going to be going for it again this year, or in this race.
Yeah.
So. And of course, we're taking questions on all platforms, on our Facebook feed, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. We're flipping back and forth. This is a very interactive event. We'll be, as we mentioned, also as Jamil mentioned, having guests. I know, for instance, we talked about Jake Jackson being here. Pat Regan is crewing Zach and Nicole Bitter, but he said he would love to come up and hang out with us up here. I know that Jamil's brother Nick might, possibly make an appearance. Don't want to promise anything we can't deliver on, but these are some of the names that you might see pop in throughout the day. 24 hours is a long time to try and fill content, yeah. So I don't think we'll probably be live and talking for 24 hours, but we'll be popping in from time to time. And when we do, if we do go on, quote, live coverage hiatus as far as in the studio, we'll let you know if we're coming back with somebody, just so you can tune in as well. So
yeah, we'll try to give like a little bit of a schedule as we kind of figure that out and let you know if so-and-so is coming on in an hour or things like that.
Let's see if we've got some more questions on one of our platforms here. Switching back and forth through. Let's see, where's my, there we go. Should probably arrange my icons.
Next to each other.
Might as well at this point. Let's see. Should probably arrange my icons. I guess need to turn the volume down. Whoops. Let's turn the volume down on that. Let's see, where did we go? Okay, Brian and Alia. Speaking of 4% shoes, as we mentioned, if you saw the viral post about the CIM last week, the Vaporfly Army was in full effect at CIM. Brian and Alia asking, speaking of 4% shoes, an event like this, does the benefit multiply over the distance, or is it diluted at the slower minute paces? I had actually heard somebody ask that on another forum. I can't remember where, but I want to say maybe it was Bob Hearn who mentioned he didn't think it would actually necessarily be, I could be speaking out of turn here, but that it won't necessarily help. But I would think that because the technology is so new, the jury's still going to be out on it.
Yeah, I mean, clearly we have, like, in Camille's case, she's broken multiple world records in the shoes, but that's also could be an outlier per se. I mean, I don't think it is. I do think there's, like, a connection.
Okay.
But, yeah, I don't know about whether it multiplies or not. It would be interesting. Jeff Burns actually has done a lot of research as well as written a lot of some articles on his website about the shoes, so it'd be interesting to get his perspective later, maybe. I'm sure. I know he kind of has mixed views on them.
See, do we have access to a leaderboard? I haven't even even looked at that yet.
Yeah, we should get the live tracker on here. We do have the, like,
as we said, this is a very interactive stream. So if you've got things to say, you've got questions, comments, we'd love to have them. We'd love to hear them. We're going to be here all day. Okay, so my race result.
Doesn't say, yeah.
.com.
I can send this to you. There might be a lot of races on there now.
Let's see. Raceresult.com.
I can send this. So it looks like it.
Yeah, if you could send it to me via
Text work.
Facebook or Horatio Olivio asking on YouTube how long they've been running. Roughly 27 minutes. They started at 8 a.m. local time this morning. and we'll be running for another 23 and a half hours. So if you're, I don't know, if you're local here in the Phoenix Valley area, you're more than welcome to stop by. But frankly, if you're anywhere within a 9-hour radius, you can still be here to catch a big chunk of the race. Stefan Pete is asking if there are any records on the line. Technically, in a race like this, every record's on the line. They can choose. There are some years where runners will attempt to break 50K records, world records, age group records, national records. But they're only limited by what they want to chase after. Most of the runners seem to go for the 100-milers and 24-hour records, but at the same time, I remember last year, I want to say it was Christina Pham, was shooting
50K,
specifically for a 50K record. So they're open to go for whatever they choose. Although if they do decide to do that and then stop, they still technically get credit for a 24-hour finish. Mm-hmm. So if they care about their ultra sign up, it'll definitely ding them there. But yeah, some runners are here to shoot for. I know that Del Salt, who is a UK runner by way of Canada, by way of living here and back to Canada. She is shooting for, I want to say, 130 miles. I don't know if that would actually be any sort of national or age group record, or even which country she technically represents anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we have the potential to see some age group as well as national records, but I don't think any world records will be on the line today. Yeah, that's my guess. One
of the records that we followed last year was Andrew Snow.
Yeah,
running the barefoot
true.
record last year at just around 140 miles, give or take. I don't remember the exact number, but that was something that was
a little more unique.
To behold. Yeah, for sure. He was moving really well the entire day, and when he came away, just around 140 miles barefoot on the track.
Craig Armstrong in his Teva sandals. Oh. probably a Teva record.
Oh, so yeah, that was I'm connected with Greg on social media, and it turns out that Teva had discontinued his sandal over the course of the past year, and he seemed really upset, and so I guess behind his back, I went and approached Teva to try and talk to them, to like, hey, you have a great story here. You have a guy who ran 150 miles, and I remember you were right there, right next to him when he stopped, right? I mean, his ankles and his feet were a bit worse for the wear. But it was a very inspiring performance, and of course what Greg did at Vol State this year was
incredible.
I know that he wanted. Do you know more specifically what his result entailed at Vol State? I want to say he set all sorts of records. I'm pretty sure it was a record,
I'm forgetting the details, but he definitely set a record at Vol State, and it was just incredible just to see him continue to push each day, and especially at the end.
Yeah,
and then he was also at the World Championships. So he went on to Worlds, qualified here, and I'm not sure how his day ended up there. I think he may have had a little bit of a rough go, but he's definitely, I don't know, one of the toughest runners I know. So.
Absolutely. Let's see, Horatio Olivio, how many runners on the track? I believe we were at 22 at registration. Did all 22 show up?
Jeff Burns is not running, so that brings us, I think, to 21.
Okay.
And yeah.
Michael McAvoy, is that Zach Bitter? Yes, it is Zach Bitter. My last glance, Zach was had accumulated the most miles. Obviously, we're still very early, and his goals are different. He doesn't. I believe he's not expecting to be on the track more than the 100K, so he's going to be moving faster. If anyone's
watching the track, he's coming up right now.
He's on the left-hand side in the white tank top on the large feed. So anyone running barefoot, remember that quote fad from Marlin Weekly. Nobody is out here barefoot today. And I don't really think that Andrew Snope, when he set the world record last year, is looking at it as something. I think it's his lifestyle.
Yeah.
I know that there are a couple of guys that do that, you know, on road, on trail, wherever they go, and it's, you know, it's their thing. I don't think that they were inspired by any sort of New York Times bestseller or anything like that. Let's see. Oh yeah, I guess a couple people asking about a guy doing it barefoot last year. Yeah, as we had just said, Andrew Snope had set the world record for barefoot mileage with about 140. We're gonna flip over to our Facebook feed and see if we've got anything going on over there. Assuming I can find it. And as we said, we're really just operating on the fly here. So if you've got anything to say or contribute, we're definitely more than willing to entertain anything that you have to add to the event. Dwayne Scott was on Twitter asking if we were doing a live stream. I hope you found us, Dwayne. I will send you a link actually, and hopefully you can follow us in there. Give him the YouTube. Oops, let's see, where's he at? Here you go, Dwayne. Now follow us along and sit back for the next 23 hours and enjoy.
I remember last year there was someone who was running on their treadmill watching.
I do remember
he was there
that.
for like hours, and everyone started kind of cheering him on.
Yeah, that was.
That was
if you're the treadmill guy, hit us up. We'd love to hear from you, and if you can keep it going. That was more. I know when you and I think I was actually on nap time at that point. I know that you and Jamil were corresponding with him in the middle of the night. So. Yeah, last year's Desert Solstice was obviously our first time doing it. And I thought that the broadcast, I mean, other than a couple of technical hiccups here and there, which are, you know, to be expected, or, you know, as a possibility, I thought it was great. I mean, I remember, you know, we had you going down on the track and talking to some of the crew people, and I loved that coverage. That was something that you don't normally get a chance to see in an ultra marathon, especially in the States. I mean, you know, some, at least to my knowledge, some races such as UTMB have wall-to-wall coverage, albeit with a lot of commercials and everything. But it's neat. I loved tuning into UTMB and watching the runners coming in and out of aid stations halfway through the race at 3 in the morning. It made my day. You know, I was following a runner with personal interest, Noah Doherty, who is a race director here for Viper Running. He finished, I want to say, 299th at UTMB and had a great race. So it was neat to see what they do. Their production is top of the line. It's, you know, very easy to follow, and I can't even imagine how many people are watching worldwide. They don't. It's not just on a YouTube stream. They've got an actual dedicated site to it, and it's impressive. This is not on that kind of level, but at the same time, we love doing it. It's fun to do, and frankly, while it is a lot of time and a long broadcast, sometimes it just kind of flies by. You all of a sudden start looking at the standings, and you're like, wow, so and so is at 100K, or when especially about 12 to 12 and a half hours in, when runners start hitting that 100-mile mark, you start to pick up a little bit of excitement. Then it might kind of drop a little bit as far as the excitement, but then as you get towards people trying to hit their various national age group, and in our case last year world records, then it picks up. I don't know exactly, are there any sort of qualifying standards on the line here today? Like, for instance, last year we had the U.S. national team qualifier story. Is there anything like that on the line today? I'm not sure. Of course, we just had the Worlds in October. So.
Yeah, so yeah, it would be 2021 Worlds that I think is.
So these races do actually work towards that qualifier standard?
I'm not sure if it falls within the time frame, but I think some people, like, I think Zach, for example, like 100K, he could be looking for a spot on the 100K team. There's definitely, yeah, I think some people are shooting for qualifying standards, or just testing themselves. Maybe they have like another A race down the line, and this is a great way in a very kind of controlled environment to really see what you can do.
That's part of the beauty of this sport. There is no off season.
Yeah,
There's always something to be qualifying for, something to train for. Of course, last week was Western States qualifier lottery, and then unfortunately we did not have a Hard Rock lottery, but I was at a trail race here locally and people were following and watching with bated breath to see who got in, and everyone was cheering on the local runners that got in or the people that they knew. And it's a very tight-knit community. Did you have any friends who got in through the lottery at Western States last week?
I knew a few people. So I'm from the Boston area on the East Coast, and there's definitely a little less of presence in terms of runners making it into Western States, but there's definitely a few names. And yeah, similarly, there's usually a race, the Tark Winterfell's Ultra, that happens the day of the lottery, and I've run it a number of years, and it's always fun because you come in each loop, it's like an 8-mile loop, and you get updates from the volunteers. Oh, so-and-so got into Western, or yeah, got their name drawn, so that's always exciting. It's something to look forward to as you're out there running.
Last year with our local race that takes place during Lottery Day, McDowell Mountain Frenzy, actually I want to say at least 2 of the last 4 years we've had somebody out on the trail running one of the races, finding out that they got in.
Wow.
Last year it was a local runner, trying to think of, Megan Slavin is her name, and she was running the 50K out there. I think she actually either won or finished second, and she ended up finding out, I'm sure, that her phone was probably in her pack just going all crazy. But a few years ago another runner locally had made it in. So do you have any races that you're preparing for specifically? Anything on your calendar for either maybe in the last couple weeks of the year for 2020? Anything?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of like local New England races recently, and kind of figuring out my calendar for 2020 and what I'd like to target. Western States is definitely like a goal of mine, and so might be looking towards a golden ticket race in the early spring. Or, I don't know, I'd love to be a part of the event, whether it's running, volunteering, crewing, so I have yet to go out there and experience it, so that's definitely something I'm hoping to do in the new year. And yeah, I don't know, I don't like to plan too far ahead. I kind of take things as they come, but yeah.
Well, one of the things that I know about you that I actually learned after our discussion last year, Jamil and I had conversations, and it's that you've got quite a strong running base built up, and you've done it over the course of a decade. For those that aren't familiar, Patrick has been on a streak of, I don't know, you can fill us in.
Yeah, I just finished like 8-year streaking, so I'm starting year 9, just running. I mean, at a minimum, a mile or more every day, but yeah, I kind of, since starting ultra running in 2015, I've been running, I guess, close to around 6,000 miles a year. So for me, racing is definitely like something I get a lot of joy and fulfillment from, but like at the heart of it, I just love to run. So getting out there every day for 2 or 3 hours is the main reason I do it.
That's absolutely amazing. 6,000 miles a year, that's a standard that, you know, very few people can, you know, hope to attain in 1 year, let alone on an annual basis. Of course, if you're talking about Western States qualifiers, we do have one coming up, quote, early in the spring in Black Canyon. We talked about that a little bit ago, and it is a golden ticket race. It brings in some great competition. Last year, I believe we had Eric Senseman and Chris Mocco.
No, Matt Daniels. Matt Daniels.
That's right.
Won.
Matt Daniels won it.
Smoked it.
Yeah, it was a very fast race. I ran it as just to keep on the lottery ticket. But they were finishing the race as I was hitting about mile 41. We actually almost crossed the finish line. The way that they had it set up, you had to kind of do an out and back because they had to reroute it due to weather. But sure enough, they were crossing the finish line literally as I was crossing the first time.
So the woman who won the golden ticket?
I don't remember, but that's easily accessed.
Yeah.
I know that. Let's see here. Black Canyon 100K 2019 results. Well, Casey Lichtheig won. Yu Wang.
Okay. Yeah, probably those two.
Yeah, if they didn't already have their way in. I don't remember.
Yeah, because Chris Mocco, he had done Black Canyon, so he had already gotten. Or no, he had done Bandera, so he had already gotten his ticket. So yeah, I think it went down to Eric Sensman that time.
But it's always Black Canyon, with it being 100K as opposed to 100 miler, and also being a golden ticket race, it brings in these great fields each year. So I don't know, we'd love to see it again. The more Patrick comes out to visit us from nicer weather, such as it is.
It's nice to escape from the New England treachery.
Let's see here. See if we've got anything new. Raphael Kinney, hey Patrick, greetings from Central PA.
Howdy.
Osvaldo Lopez doing 150 lap. Go Osvaldo. Yeah, it's going to be the fascinating thing to me as somebody who is really only been watching this kind of structure of race for only a year. It's amazing that these runners can keep these paces up for 24 hours. Where they might be running 150s now, but they're still running 210s 23 plus hours later.
So. Sometimes they find a whole new surge altogether. I mean, Camille last year, everyone, I think most people are going to go through a rough patch at some point, especially in that kind of 3/4 of the way through. Once you pass 100 miles, it still hasn't really begun at the 24-hour distance. So in that 18-hour range. But then once you kind of get over that 18-hour hurdle, I feel like you can then see the end, and that's where people start to that's where you see some really incredible, just the mental. I think for me, it's hard to wrap my head around the mental aspect of it. I mean, the physical performances are definitely impressive, but the mental strength that these runners have is even more so. Oh, I agree. The fact that when you think about it, if you're doing 130, 140 miles, just the sheer number of laps, you're talking 520, 560 or more laps around a high school track. And as beautiful as I believe the Valley of the Sun can be, it's